Hello there, I'm Mount Pain 27 and this is Dean of Doom, the show where we give grades to classic and contemporary Doom wads. Why? Because ranking things is fun. Today's episode will be dedicated to S3E3 Minutes Pour Vivre, to which I will refer hereafter as 180 MPV for convenience. Released in 2020 and led by battle-scarred Doom veteran William Huber, 180 MPV is the latest and greatest megawad to be released by the French Doom community, a direct successor to their 3 Hours of Agonie trilogy, and their most polished, mature, and exciting project so far. It welcomed 3 newcomers into the fold, relaxed its 3-hour build time restriction, and blew a gaping hole in their previously established difficulty ceiling. The later maps in 180 MPV make no pretense of accommodating less experienced players, sliding into the skid of slaughter while channeling French favorites Ribbiks, Darkwave, Death Destiny, and Jonas Feragen. Every time I play this wad, it knocks me on my ass in the best way possible, and it's become one of my most personally anticipated Dean of Doom episodes. Without further ado, here's how the show works. Every map gets 1 grade for quality and 1 for difficulty. On the quality side, the grades go from A to F. Grade A levels are fun, memorable, visually distinctive, creative, and a fair challenge. Difficulty grades go from X to E. X for extreme, E for easy, A through D in between. Keep in mind, I probably won't have the same ideas about what makes a great level as you do, but that's okay. Disagreeing is part of the fun, after all. At the end of the day, this show is about spreading the joy of Doom, so let's do so. Before we start, the rules are, we play on ultra violence and must pistol start each level. I need to play the wad twice before reviewing it, saves are allowed, and we go for 100% kills in all levels, making exceptions when it's just not worth it. I play on Z Doom, and today's compatibility setting is limit removing. Now, to the wad. Map 1 de Bois et Briques. It's funny, 180 MPV was my first experience with the French Doom community's work, but playing this megawad now feels like visiting old friends. French for bronze and brick is handsome, comfy, and effortless. A warm-up for the fingers and an introduction to 180 MPV's recurring theme of yellow texture usage. This switch opens a secret plasma behind a lichen-covered wall in the west, and another switch can be shot for a nearly useless soul sphere. Besides the chain gunner quartet at the end, nothing in this map can possibly kill you. Grade B+, difficulty E. Map 2, Yttrium. My theory is that when William Huber needs to make an easy level, he creates a slaughter map and then turns all the enemies to imps and zombies. Spurred along by its excitable MIDI, the densely packed Yttrium is entertaining until you take your foot off the gas. These teleport pads are connected as tenuously as the clues leading to Pepe Sylvia, and as always, Willou's secrets are quite hidden. I've seen the tiny switch in the wall trick before, but it took me a long time to figure out the plasma rifle secret. You gotta jump on this ledge, run downstairs to the teleporter and hit a switch before it snaps shut. Obnoxious as it is, the secret is justified by your first run-in with the Nightwatch Cacodemon, a terrifying juggernaut that aggressively vomits fire upon spotting you. As you'll soon find out, Willow really likes these guys. With the plasma gun in hand, you can rip through Yttrium's only tight squeeze and coast to the exit. Grade A-, difficulty D+. Map 3, Retour sur Terre. French for Back to Earth is a grungy slime base with a rockin' soundtrack. Datacore captures a classic megawad ambiance with his deep browns, stark lighting, and generic combat. Retour sur Terre introduces the ancient alien's Mancubus, moonlighting from his day job, and his brown revenant relatives. Put some pants on. Health is a bit lean here if you're not trying walls for secrets. These panels open up a Berserk pack, rockets, and the rocket launcher, which renders the ending a can of corn. If you're a completionist, don't forget to shoot this UAC sign. It hides 2 zombos and a green armor. Grade B-, difficulty D+. Map 4, Ignominy. A cute concept map from a newcomer with 2 names, Ignominy has the lowest monster count in the megawad, but don't take the bait. You'll probably want to ignore the Baron and Revenants in the second room, because that exit's fake, and so is the one after it. Kill the Shotgunners and Hell Knights in the pit, and an Archvile will join the party upstairs. Use rockets to take him out, and you should have sufficient munitions to plug the Mancubus by the real exit. There's no ignominy in running out of ammo. Boot the map up and try again if you have to. Grade B-, difficulty D. Map 5, Grand Blue. A whimsical extension of Rufy's tropical Hours of Agonie maps, Grand Blue is as carefree as it is explosive. You'll be rolling with the rocket launcher for most of the map, and each time you go for a refill, the starting arena unveils more demons. Turn them all into marinara sauce, and take a moment to admire Rufy's palm trees and beach towel. If you don't shoot this tiny switch on one of the pillars outside, you might be wondering where the heck all the missing kills are. Take this teleporter for an all-expenses-paid island getaway, with a complimentary god orb to help you deal with all those pesky demon tourists. Under the cover of invulnerability, you probably still won't think much of the Nightwatch cacos, but just you wait. Grand Blue goes out with a burst of gore confetti, a fitting end for a map as zany and lighthearted as this. Grade A, difficulty D. Map 6, Complexe Cendré. It doesn't take much to make this Doom player happy. Give me a big fight, some rockets, and a badass MIDI, and I'm off to the races. French for Ash Complex is JC Dorn through and through, a no-nonsense tech base with an incendiary centerpiece. This flash flood of revenants, imps, and flying meatballs goes from good to great when the Jeremy Doyle solo kicks in. God damn, I love this song. Dispose of the Barons, Mancubi, and Arachnotrons upstairs, admiring the latter's gorgeous violet projectiles, and don't forget about the Archvile on the exit. We won't hear much from JC Dorn in this megawad, but he makes his appearances memorable. Grade A, difficulty C. Map 7, Trilogy Quantique. Given an eerie veneer by its evolution MIDI, French for quantum chaology reduces the size of the playing field and throws a lot of hit scanners and revenants at you, as well as the occasional Archvile. Pounce on that plasma and don't let the Flame Boy get in the zone or you'll meet the same fate I did. William Huber's co-credit makes it hard to tell who deserves blame for this weird secret that summons the map's last Arachnotron. That one took a while to find. Overall, I appreciate Trilogy Quantique for its atmosphere and color choices, but in the action department, it's so-so. Grade B, difficulty C+. Map 8, Ruée vers l'Art, which I believe translates to Gold Rush, is another delightful roofie outing. You've interrupted a crew of demons mid-heist, and they're not too keen on sharing their loot. Knowing where their weapons are will save you some painful fumbling at the beginning. There's a free chain gun in the vault, a super shotgun by the Archie elevator, and a secret rocket launcher on this ledge. This time around, Roofie's got some mean tricks up his sleeve. This hallway is a death trap because the door locks behind you, and it's not easy to dodge Arachnotron bolts while picking off angry snipers. The Vile brothers can see you in the next room. Don't let them torch you while you're puncturing Fatso here. I've got a soft spot for themed maps like this, and I dig the down-tempo MIDI, which also got used in Augur Zenith. Grade A-, difficulty C+. Map 9, Pour une Vengeance. An unabashed alien vendetta send-up, Pour une Vengeance is the most developed map in 180 MPV so far, a twisted cave network that funnels into a castle. Most of the early fights take themselves apart, though you might have trouble with these mounted chain gunners, revenants, and Archvile Overseer. The big news item in Pour une Vengeance is the debut of 180 MPV's other custom monster. The Heresy Arc is a lumbering spellcaster with a cyber demon's health pool. At close range, he can vaporize you, but given any cover at all, you should be able to pants him in a duel. Try to conserve cells and rockets for the final fight, a Cacademon's slot machine whose last round makes me very nervous. Maybe it's the comparatively long runtime, but Pour une Vengeance doesn't quite grab me. Grade B, difficulty B. Map 10, Trilogy, Decisions. It's a shame 180 MPV's InfoTXT provides almost no backstory for this Oxide JC Dorn collab. I'd love to know how they arrived at this concept. As far as I'm aware, it's one of a kind. Your chosen difficulty setting affects the route you take through the map by changing what key you're given. It also decides your loadout. I'm Too Young to Die and Hey Not Too Rough players get to weld through 40-odd monsters with a plasma gun, Hurt Me Plentiers tour the base's outer grounds with a rocket launcher, and ultraviolence aficionados get the sternest task and the manliest weapon to do it with. The first major fight on skill 4 leaves you yet another choice to make. Kill the Cyber Demon and Archviles before setting a pack of Revenants free, or hazard the Archies and hope Cyb fights fruitfully. The final fight on the red key path is by far the hardest scenario this map offers. It's a dicey combination of Revenants, Mancubi, an Archvile, and whatever else you've left alive down there. I'm impressed by its gimmick's execution, but Trilogy doesn't make a very strong impression if you pick a difficulty lane and stay in it. Grade B+, difficulty B. Map 11, Où est le berger? French for Where is the Shepherd offers a small taste of what this megawad is really about. There's a king's ransom of supplies on the canyon floor, so fill your pockets, blast through the base, collect the rocket launcher and plasma, and prepare for an eruption. The imps, Hell Knights, Mancubi, Cacodemons, and Archviles cascading from the open caves can overwhelm a slow-footed player, but gunning for the BFG can end the whole fight pretty early, especially if you prioritize the Archviles and don't get caco-piled. This map is a lot of fun, if a bit out of character for Frank Frag. His speed maps tend to be much less spacious. We won't see Frank again until map 30, so au revoir pour le moment. Grade A-, difficulty B-. Map 12, Impact Écologique. This castle needs a pressure wash. French for exactly what you think it means is the first map in this set that kinda irritates me. For missing secrets, Datacore punishes you with inconvenience. 3 of them give you ammo, and there's a rocket launcher behind this misaligned wall that you'll really want for the final fight. A lot of heavies supported by a pair of perched Archviles stomping around on chain gunner corpses. With With or without rockets, this is Doorfight Central. Datacore's sense of decor still serves him, but his combat's flat. Footnote, fans of the folk metal band Fin Troll will probably appreciate this MIDI more than I do. Grade C, difficulty B-. Map 13, Cherbourg. I don't know how to say that. Newcomer Blem's first and only offering to 180 MPV, French for muddy flesh, is a humble tech base halfway assimilated by a fleshy monstrosity. The encounters in and around the raw hamburger are mild heart rate accelerants with the help of 2 secret weapons, and kind of tedious without them. This seems like a beginner effort, so I'll go easy on Blem here. The exit's toothy maw is a nice touch though. Down the hatch. Grade C, difficulty D+. Map 14, Le Belle et la Bête. Tale as old as time, true as it can. Obviously, direct confrontation with the heresy arc is out of the question, but even after you give him the slip, Rufy drops you into a pair of scenarios that are really unfriendly to players who kick in the door. This fleshy cave fight is brilliant. If you fire a shot, the archvile on the right-hand wall wakes up, halving your available real estate. I try to goad the monsters into infighting and only intervene when the pain elementals get too excitable. Rufy removes the auto map, which I don't exactly appreciate, but offers sharp-eyed players a secret shotgun, soul sphere, and mega armor in compensation. With a locked and loaded SSG, you can return to the West Wing and blast the petals off La Bette's magic rose for good, scoot past some crushers, and make off with a plasma rifle and cells to spare. French for Beauty and the Beast is yet another map that proves no one maps like Rufy. Okay, I'll stop, jeez. Grade A, difficulty B+. Map 15, Faint, more like La Vitesse. William Huber swaps wood and blood for sheet metal and dirty water in this hard-hitting rewrite of Plutonia's Speed. The lurking dark cacos, pain elementals, spider snipers, chain gun gangs, and Macubi, topped off with a few vile surprises, make the map's Cyber Demon look ineffectual. Speaking of which, this primeval MIDI, appropriately titled Your Move, Cybe, adds terrific zing to the proceedings. Don't try to tap your foot along with a thrumming bass line or your shoe will catch on fire. Willow must have specifically asked for map 15 so we could flex his secret hiding skills. Obscure as they are, I found these 2 shootable switches without help, but this lowerable secret wall? No way. After a vicious archvile double team at the regular exit, turn around, take this teleporter to the Mancubus mezzanine, and if you shot the switch in the Megasphere secret, this hatch should be open. I hope you're pleased with yourself, Willow. Grade A-, difficulty A-. Map 31, Dear God. Okay, let's try this. Dicte-moi ou nen quelques est serana, Le Belle du Muse. I swear, Jambon is writing a novel, one map title at a time. Unfortunately for Monsieur Bon, his map is not as exciting as its name, playing like a leftover from the Toiselle series. Nothing really qualifies Serana as a secret map except its deviation from 180 MPV's primarily cool color palette. If you survive the initial rush of pinkies, shotgunners, and revenant snipers, making sure to nip this archvile in the bud once you cross the first pair of platforms, the rest of the map's a piece of cake. I'm not sure why parkouring to the SSG needs to be such a bother, and the lack of feedback on this panel that reveals the secret plasma rifle does not seem justified. Keep trying, Jambon. Grade C, difficulty C. Map 32, Rev Breezy. Once upon a time, this was my least favorite map in 180 MPV. Like Rufy's map 14, French for Broken Dream demands selective aggression and forces you to negotiate seemingly immovable obstacles to gain the upper hand. The pervasive snipage and limited firepower will frustrate first-timers, but once you grasp what Rufy's asking of you, it becomes very satisfying to exploit Rev Breezy. Pay close attention to this yellow stripe in the starting room, hop the courtyard wall, and press this switch to lower the front gate. The silhouetted Mancubus, Archvile, and Cyberdemon turrets are effectively immortal, so don't bother with them. Crossing the slow-raising platforms while weathering a barrage of plasma, rockets, and fire is borderline unfair, and the reception on the other side is no picnic either. Taking out the Barons, Archviles, Second Heresy Arc, and small flock of floating heads is the most conventional part of this map, and when you're done, you'll teleport into an imp closet, and look at this. Something yellow is lowered. Return to the starting room and use the now open teleporter to turn the shadow monsters into shadow pancakes. You might have noticed the switch by the gate earlier. Now it should be safe to take the elevator it lowers to an invulnerability which you can use to smother a normally tumultuous run-in with vile pain. There's more ammo in the keep if you need it. After 3 exits, I still can't say I love Reb Breezy's stylized stop and start gameplay, but I'm wowed by Rufy's ingenuity and I've grown fond of the sleepy medieval setting. grade A-, difficulty A+. Map 16, Sur les chemins de Satan. Another map that will savage you for playing incorrectly, French for On Satan's Path, is a colorblind tech base with some vicious but exploitable encounters. You're in for a world of hurt if you let the door shut behind you in this slime chamber. Hitting the Satyr switch floods the room with about 80 chain gunners. The invuln will not last long enough to protect you from the firing squad, so instead of confronting them directly, hit the switch, get out, and enjoy the music. You can use the invuln later to soften this uncomfortable staircase fight with a dozen revenants and a cyber demon. For my money, Nemo 6 is easily the most promising newcomer to Team France. Grade B, difficulty B+. Map 17, État d'urgence. I'm crazy about this map. French for State of Emergency is a dour coastal control center that radiates intensity. No surprise, given the violent tendencies of its co-authors. Given a boost of nitro by its Unreal Tournament MIDI, État d'urgence is a constant run and gun. Clear the docks of Manx, spiders, and revenants and hit this button to unlock the bridge module. You'll need to find 3 more switches to raise a path to the control room, which unlocks the exit. During my first playthrough, I discovered, much to my delight, that you can jump off the observation tower and take the back door into this facility, catching the monsters unawares. Blast through the complex's rusty underbelly to find the last switch, raise the bridge, and get ready for your first dose of the real 180 MPV. A pair of archviles, their red puppets, and a swarm of imps and revenants block your escape, while 3 walls lower behind you, exposing 2 bleachers full of chain gunners, a meatball quartet, and a cyber demon. This fight is a bastard, and I love it to bits. My compliments to William Huber, who handled thing placement on Oxide's original layout. Sensational map. Grade A+, difficulty A. Map 18, Le Temple des Dames. A spacer between murderous Willu rampages, French for Temple of the Damned, barely lasts 5 minutes. Uncork the plasma rifle on these Revenants and Hell Knights, grab the red key and a fairly obvious secret backpack and rocket launcher, and you can spray and pray through the main event. If you contain the Nightwatch Cacos, you probably don't have anything to worry about. The rocket launcher's great for cleaning up the last 20 Hell Knights. Don't let them out too early or they'll cause problems. Use this map to decompress. Grade B-, difficulty B-. Map 19, Inquietude. Described by its creator as the unofficial trailer for 180 MPV, French for worry, is aptly named, underpinning its simmering volcanic environment and tense lulls between battles with one of Hellrevealed 2's creepiest middies. The opening fight takes some getting used to. It's a Cirque du Soleil through a Cacodemon checkerboard, Mancubus and Arachnotron artillery, and a hunting party of Hell Knights, Revenants, and Archviles. Enter this disquietingly empty UAC bunker and you'll find a plasma rifle, some rockets, and a pair of blue power-ups. Steel yourself, because here comes the hardest fight in 180 MPV so far, a Stardate 20XT6 inspired struggle that will swallow timid players whole. Dispose of the Arachnotron turrets, dodge missiles from the Revenant cheering section, and keep the slab of Hell Nobles at bay until you can slide past and hopefully get the Cyber to shoot them. With the Cyber Ungulate on your team, you'll save a bushel of rockets, lower your chance of getting smothered, and make the cleanup easier. Don't relax yet. There's another Cyber Demon to polish off in this room, and 4 Archviles will jump you by the exit. Improper execution of the Marquis fight can devastate your ammo, severely complicating your return trip to the caves. Frankly, this map used to scare the shit out of me, but it's one I eagerly look forward to now that I've played enough of William Huber's work. It's definitely an acquired taste. Grade A, difficulty X-. Map 20, Infernal Resurgence. One of Datacore's most atmospheric and visually pleasing hell maps, Infernal Resurgence is quiet, compact, and concise. Don't scoff at the imps, revenants, and hell knights at the start. You have just 9 stims and a pair of medikits to patch up. And watch out for this basement fight if you're under half health or miss the SSG by the lift. Other than that, there isn't much to fear from Hell's Resurgence. Data's lighting and detailing are as sharp as ever, but I think his minimalist action worked better in Hours of Agonie, where the levels were shorter and less involved. Grade B, difficulty B-. Map 21, Qu'il. Definitely the angriest Datacore map I've played. French for heat wave, starts slow, but builds to a scorching climax. I'm not a big fan of Datacore's tendency to go light on health pickups. The nicks, scratches, and second-degree burns accumulate in the frantic opening minute, especially when you have to grind stuff down with the shotgun and chain gun. Speedrunners take note. You can platform from ledge to ledge on this post for extra ammo and a chain gun and skip the whole first section. Chip away at these grunts for an SSG and take the teleporter to the deadliest room in the map. A playpen of Revenants, Mancubi, a Cyber Demon, and an Archvile. Wiggle your way out, dust a pair of Archies, and you're in the clear. Grade B-, difficulty A-. Map 22, Une journée en enfer. Nemo 6 takes a bow here with his most eye-catching and difficult map yet. His monochrome, wood, and metal aesthetic seems Sunder-inspired, and to an extent, so does his combat. The first major fight opens with Cybe losing his champion belt in spectacular fashion, and ends when Hell Knights charge the field. Don't pick up the yellow key guarantee until after the heresiarch's done playing with his food and the cacos die, or the knights will overwhelm you. After putting down these pinkies in the next room, I try to get the fresh cyber to infight the peanut gallery while I go archvile hunting. Like Nemo's map 18, French for a Day in Hell plays significantly worse if you don't find its secret weapon. In this case, the plasma rifle. It's easy to run out of ammo without it, and its lack makes polishing off stragglers at the end more hazardous than necessary. I dig this map's look, and the MIDI is way out there, but it lacks the finer touch of mappers Nemo imitates. Grade B, difficulty A. Map 23, Anomalie Éternelle. I love that the French Doom community always seems to call on William Huber when they need to make a map harder. In the text file, Willow explains that Datacore's third hell level was too easy to place after Nemo's, so with Datacore's permission, he made a few edits. Since Datacore put a BFG 9000 on the map, I figured that it had to serve somehow. French for Eternal Anomaly is gloomy and suspenseful, artfully amalgamating Datacore's pinched layout and Willow's appetite for carnage. It plays even more loose and dangerous than their already excellent Tangerine Nightmare collaborations. Even its throwaway fights are fun and flavorful. Pressing on the Satyr switch by the plasma rifle kicks off the map's banner fight, a horde of imps and hell knights plus 2 archvile turrets guarding an ammo stash. Without the BFG, there's less margin for error, but it's by no means required. Instead of barons, the exit to Anomalie Éternelle is guarded by a pair of cybers, and then a pair of archviles. 100%ers will probably need to spend another couple of minutes secret hunting for an unnecessary optional fight, a minor blemish on an otherwise very strong map. From here on out, the Frenchies hold back nothing. Proceed only when your body is ready. Grade A, difficulty A. Map 24, Rêve Lucide. Perhaps the most punishing map in the megawad per capita, the surreal floating village of Rêve Lucide, French for lucid dream, offers no easy way in. You'll have to goad the cyber demon into blowing a hole through this cave entrance for you to avoid waking up an archvile war party in the square, and after that I don't have a lot of good advice for you. Only the talented, practiced, or stupid can play this map with confidence. Roofy takes every opportunity he can to deprive you of ammo, cover, and options, which sounds like a recipe for frustration, but that's not how it shakes down. Rêve Lucide's high stakes deliver proportional rewards, and it builds to a feverish crossfire of narrow escapes and clutch moments if you play courageously. Roofy pairs danger and dopamine like few mappers I've played, and Rêve Lucide is probably his biggest score yet. Footnote, it just so happens that Rêve Lucide's MIDI is a big reason I stuck with this megawad. It's Lightbulb's Son by a band called Porcupine Tree. I could write a whole digression on Porcupine Tree, but nobody needs to hear that. Grade A+, difficulty X-. Map 25, Jules Necrozé. Heralded by a Hell Revealed 2 MIDI that strikes fear in my soul, French for Necrost Jail rolls out a delicious smorgasbord of tortures. Once again, William Huber proves himself an ardent Ribbiks disciple, evidenced especially by this bloody blitzkrieg of chain gunners, revenants, archviles, heresiarchs, and cyberdemons, and this purple-accented platforming bit. Willow's self-commentary is a great example of why I love reading text files. Knowing that he's aware of how frustrating his platforming is makes the gesture feel much less prickly. Once again, Willow's secrets are as cryptic as they are helpful. Scan the walls for tiny switches to telefrag the cyberdemon, and what the heck does this do? I can't hear anything lowering. Oh, yep, it's the same thing as map 2. Willow, you dirty. The final fight has never not kicked my ass. It's a lethal spatial awareness test with barons and Nightwatch cacos, followed by a heresiarch and a very, very annoying pair of archviles. I hate auto-aim sometimes. Grade A-, difficulty X-. Map 26, Monument en Béton. If you've played the Hours of Agonie trilogy or watched its Dean of Doom episode, you know it's a bad sign if Darkwave is making his cameo appearance this early. French for Concrete Monument might look like a simple rehash of its author's slime-based slaughter formula, but get this, not only is there no BFG in this map, there's also no rocket launcher. Against all the evil that hell can conjure, we will send unto them only little blue diamonds. Monument en Béton makes no concessions to Darkwave's MO, forcing you to play evasively or very, very aggressively. The second room can be dismantled by drilling a hole through the imp ranks and parking yourself in this corner while the monsters rip each other to pieces, but the final fight offers no such safe space. Cyberdemons and archviles stalk the concrete canyon, and you better fight like a cornered animal if you want to survive the ascent to the exit. Plasma-only slaughter shouldn't work this well, but Darkwave is a special mapper. Monument en Béton is yet another ominous powerhouse from the King of Slime. grade A, difficulty X-. Map 27, Sable Brûlant. Sable Brûlant! A far cry from the sunny shores of Rufy's Map 5, French for burning sand is a drought-scarred wasteland whose only renewable resource is demons. No less than a dozen turret enemies will harangue you until the end of the map, gather some weapons and silence some non-immortal foes, then break into the brownstone temple and steal the red and blue keys, which prompt nasty ambushes involving every variety of meatball on the menu. After that, it's time to get the BFG, which is made a real knee-knocker by the immortal Archvile Watchman and Cyberdemon blocking the door. To the unobservant, the final fight will look almost impossible. Archviles will spawn all over the map, and even if you can somehow find cover to snipe them while giving 4 Cyberdemons the slip, you'll be lucky to save enough ammo to blast through this wall of monster meat, 2-shot the last Cyberdemon, and exit. Don't do that. Instead, hit the skull switch, dive into the cave and hug the right wall to find a teleporter pad that will make you invulnerable, telefrag all the turrets, and exterminate their clones. You can take a chunk out of the vials and Cybes with the last of your god mode, dump rockets into the exit, and get away scot-free. Even if you play it right, Sable Brûlant is a merciless map and utterly lacks Rufy's trademark whimsicality. Grade B+, difficulty X-. Map 28, Inhumation. A back-breaking hellish coliseum suspended in void, French for burial, demands planning and willpower to complete. This is another BFG-less slaughter map, so plasma liberally and treat the rocket launcher like your superweapon. After smashing the Imp and Pinky infantry and staunching the flow of Archies and Revenants, you're free to grab the yellow key, which unlocks the arena's 2 wings. Save the invulnerabilities for later. I used one here, but you should not do that. Completing each brutalizing challenge room unleashes Archviles down in the lava, and that's your cue to glug green orbs and turn up the Tristan Clark music. The red and blue switches are activated, even more Archviles and a band of Cyberdemons will appear, as if I wasn't already pining for the BFG. Inhumation is slightly repetitive and too tight-fisted with rockets, but I like that it demands heroism. Grade A-, difficulty X. Map 29, Xanthophobie. One look at the kill count will tell you everything you need to know. Xanthophobie, which today I learned means fear of the color yellow, borrows Speed of Doom music and a certain calcium-rich set-piece from Alien Vendetta's map of the same number, but generates more raw power than either of its inspirations. The opening fight is an event unto itself. I call it Resurrection Corridor, because after you cleave through it, most of the demons you fought will end up rising again. Punching down Archvile Insurgency is half the battle in this map. Working in tandem with 52 Pain Elementals, Archibald can grow the already ludicrous kill count by hundreds. The Cyberdemon presence is also fairly oppressive. Many of them are planted in awkward or unhelpful positions, and have a habit of airmailing rockets at just the wrong trajectory when you're focusing on something else. My heart goes out to first-time players who chew through 1,000 demons, stagger into this room, and check the kill count. This is where Xanthophobie redefines overkill. It's still hard for me to wrap my brain around this fight. It crosses a line I've seldom seen crossed in my dooming days, and it is impossible to survive without timely power-up usage. When you see Archviles, hit a green torch switch and run for daylight. I love this map, but even Willou's got to admit, it's f***ing cracked. Grade A, difficulty X. Now, 180 MPV is in the unusual position of having 2 map 30s, one made by William Huber and one made collaboratively. The collab is the official map 30, so let's have a look at Willou's outtake first. Map 30B, qu'il. Alternate title, Du Machine de Willou. Easily the heaviest solo map in 180 MPV, French for Heart of Hatred is a magnum opus in multiple movements. Huber obviously put a ton of effort into it. 180 MPV B.wad even adds story text and comes with an 800-word prologue that gives the megawad some semblance of a setting. Truth be told, the whole thing does come off a little bit ego-trippy, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it was probably the right decision to leave it out of the main megawad. Cold as the abyss and 2,000 monsters strong, qu'il tops the charts intimidation factor-wise, but none of its fights quite reach the pitch of Map 29's finale. Thank God, because this map is a marathon. To make our way to the ominous place in the distance, we'll have to do some plane walking. Qu'il challenge rooms are small scale but quite lethal. From left to right, we have a long-range cyber duel atop the scattered fragments of an icy temple at the end of the universe, a nefarious rewrite of the Caco room from Doom 2's The Factory, and finally a Sunderesque cacathedral where it's best to just watch the Titans slug it out from the shadows. After that, you can approach the structure, get the BFG, and meet Willow's iteration of the main antagonist, a malignant demon heart. Push through the arteries and soon you'll reach the megawad's biggest fight by body count. This lion switch unleashes about 50 pain elementals, several hundred imps, and a plutonia of revenants. Don't succumb to shock yet. The next round is Mancubi, Barons, Cyber Demons, 100 Nightwatch Cacos, and 20 Heresiarchs. Willow seems to expect large-scale infighting from the custom monsters, but this time most of the Heresiarchs survived, and that was a real bummer. Claim the red key, subdue the heart, and proceed to the ending, where Princess Peach, yep, the one and only, waits patiently to be saved. Team France correctly predicted that a Mario crossover would more likely befuddle players than delight them, but I'm glad they relegated this map to an alternate ending rather than cutting it entirely. William Huber is a Doom mapping force to be reckoned with, and I'm grateful to have developed the skill set necessary to experience his work. Grade A, difficulty X. Map 30, Celui qui voit le monde. For those of you familiar with the Nova series, He Who Sees the Worlds is the French Megiddo. This map took me longer to finish than maps 1 through 10 combined, so if you arrive here at the end of a long dooming session, take a break or come back tomorrow. Once again, taking the teleporters from left to right, here's what we're looking at. Datacore's domain. Slaughter gameplay isn't Datacore's bread and butter, but his eye for hellish visuals serves him well in this scorching stronghold. His fights can be confronted piecemeal, though you'll have to face a couple of cyber demons in the basin and one of those annoying teleporting archviles. I don't understand the point of stashing a berserk and several monsters in this non-secret, highly damaging lava fall, and the cleanup at the end kinda drags. Next up, Roofy's Realm. If this map were a standalone, it would be my least favorite Roofy map in the WoD. I like the rugged environment, especially this big old tree, but the gameplay is miserable. Most of the fighting takes place in a lake of damaging blood, and the majority of available rad suits are tucked in this room behind 4 crushers. Roofy keeps spawning Archies and Cybers in the upper decks to keep you even more in motion than you already will be, fleeing from Revenants, Hell Knights, Mancubi, a Heresiarch, and even more Archviles down in the pit. Without the BFG, this fight is a roll of the dice. And once again, cleanup is a pain in the rear. After that, we have Frank Fragg's Fleshy Fiefdom. The opening fight of Frank Fragg's segment is unquestionably the hardest part of this map, seemingly designed to break the wills of speedrunners everywhere. First of all, don't hit this switch. All it does is lower the Cyber Demon behind you, and it's not worth trying to get him to infight these 6 Archviles. Kill them, run up the stairs, and start praying. Cacos, Pain Elementals, and Lost Souls will block your pitiful attempts to weave between Cyber Rockets and Hungry Hell Knights, which resulted in dozens of deaths for yours truly. Frank's second phase is a lot more fun, a playground of industrial gore that overloads you with rockets, cells, megaspheres, and running room. Next, JC Doran's JC Dungeon. In the text file, JC lists Willow's handgun on his head as an inspiration for this medieval basement bloodletting. This segment plays like a more extreme rewrite of another JC map from Hours of Agonie. Keep your rocket launcher ready for buckets of Archviles, Cybers, and Slaughter standbys. Dispense with that, and we're on to Oxide's Outpost of Death. I dreaded revisiting Oxide's segment, but decent ammo management and acute paranoia will keep this submap more under control than Roofy's or Frank's. Ever the fan of green marble hell, Oxide decorates his corner of Apocalypse with a lot of plant matter, which attempts to disguise this secret teleporter. Hop in if you need a recharge. Even though it doesn't look it, the plasma is the gun of choice in this final fight. Keep the swell of monsters at bay while the Cybers chip away at the caboose, and you'll save yourself a lot of face rockets and some ammo. And finally, WH Willow 84's Wind Down. With the first 5 mini-maps writhing in their death throes, it's time to grab the BFG and meet the real final boss of 180 MPV, a giant lump of eyeballs and one more plutonia of revenants. Sorry, my French isn't so good. What did he say? Don't worry about Monsieur Globoculaire. He can only spawn lost souls, which you'll hardly notice until after you've culled the Bone Brigade. Use the lifts to reach switches which reveal weak spots in the Optometrist's wet dream, pump rockets, and repeat, pausing only to vanquish Cybers, Archviles, and volleys of Willow's favorite Caco. When Big Boss opens his mouth, choke him with rockets, and you're finally done with this beast of a map. Despite its tasteful icon of sin usage, He Who Sees the Worlds isn't as grand as it is long. And though a team effort was a more appropriate choice of closer, I find Willow's map more concise, consistent, and fun. 180 MPV's third episode is pretty incredible, but ending it like this is a recipe for burnout. Grade B+, difficulty X. So, Songe Trava Minutes Pour Vivre is the pinnacle of French Doom mapping to date, a whirlwind of nifty experiments, slaughter extravaganzas, and instant classics. It's colorful, distinctive, exciting, and creative across the board, with inaccessibility to non-hardcore players beyond map 23, at least on Ultraviolence, being its only downside. This megawad elevated Rufy and William Huber to outplay anything they make status, with the latter's work playing an integral part in my emerging love of slaughter maps. If you're looking for a polished, diverse set of levels that will test your skills, you can't do much better than 180 MPV. Before I give my final grade, I want to plug Dobu Gabu Maru's Doom World Megawad Club, with whom I played 180 MPV for the first time. They cover new megawads every month, playing one map per day, and share thoughts, screenshots, and sometimes even gameplay footage. This month actually happens to be the 10-year anniversary of the club. I never would have tried 180 MPV, nor discovered French Doom without them, so if you're looking for something new to play, sift through their old threads for ideas or join up with them next month. My final grade for 180 MPV is an A. Difficulty-wise, this one starts pretty hot and surpasses even the likes of Scythe 2 by the end, so we're gonna give it a strong X-. Have a gander at Hurt Me Plenty if what you just saw looks too intense. Now for my Dean's List. For the record, this was a megawad packed with high-quality stuff, and I had a very difficult time picking between them. Valedictorian, Map 17, État d'Urgence. Salutatorian is a tie between Map 19, Inquietude, and Map 24, Rêve Lucide. Class President, Map 29, Xanthophobie, and the dunce cap goes to Map 12, Impact écologique. Now for a quick run-through of the honor roll for 180 MPV. Map 2, Yttrium, Map 5, Grande Bleu, Map 6, Complexe Cendré, Map 8, Ruée vers l'Or, Map 11, Où est le berger, Map 14, L'Oubelle et la Bête, Map 15, Feint, Map 32, Rêve brisé, Map 23, Anomalie éternelle, Map 25, Jour nécrosé, Map 26, Monument en béton, Map 28, Inhumation, Map 29, Xanthophobie, and Map 30B, Kiaduen. Thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to share your thoughts on the wad down below. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll heart your comments to let you know I've read them. Now, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my generous patrons. Aaron Allen, Agile Jackson, Agu XYZ, Alec Wehrman, Alephany, Alex Max, Alex Topfer, Artisan Talzar, Bo Higginbotham, Beatbeard, Ben Barrett, Birdburn, Blind as a Mat, Builder Sith, Bitefire, Kappa Bitch, Kali Bluefin, Cheese Wheel, Chris Duthat, Chris O'Neill, Christopher Hart, Christophine Place, Cutman Mike, Dan, Dave Davidson, Delirium, Doot Yourself, Dorothy Miller, Egg Boy, Ember, Emma Essex, Endless Moose, Faithful, Felix Wilson, Francis T218, General Roasterock, Glenn Marmon, Goody, Griffin Upchurch, Hyaksho, In Captivity, Jeff Hibbert, Jeff Sharilla, Jose Ballestero, Josh Ballard, Jude, Just Some Schmuck, Just Great 98, Camille Bernadotte, Killplane, Leon Staten, Logan Lazalda, Lumnal, Mark Rowland, Master Drew 117, Matt, Matthew Gower, Matty Light 1990, Michael Akins, Miracle Water, Mixer, MK 2021, Moko Mothman MM47, Mozicon, Myolden, Nafferty, Neurometry, Knights 108, Number 26, NX Avery, Omnibot, Orion Burke Pool, Painful Hill 72, Pezavang Jaj, Philip Coffee, Pixel Perfect PT, Pyro She, Quibs, Randy A, Red Doomed Earth, Reese, Reese Anderson, Rune, Sean Doherty, Sega Monkey, Sid Menon, Smole Venom, Space Clanka, Spinner 8, Stonemason, Stupid Nick, Sunriser, Sylvester Priss, Tarakushino, That Guy Known as Will, The Cloptologist, The Dinosaur Heretic, TJG1289, Trilby Trillion, Turbine 2K5, Ultra Cow, Why Bimo Not a Crab, and the man of the hour, William Huber. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all to the ends of the earth. This is Mount Pain 27, and I'll see you in the next episode of Dean of Doom. Hey, thanks for sticking around. If there are any French mappers in the audience right now, I just want them to know that if Necromantic Thirst comes out, it's an automatic Dean of Doom episode. Just wanted to say that. Anyway, have a good day.